Hey everyone, Jose Villablanca here, the founder and CEO of HoliFit, which is an employee engagement company. What do we do there? One of the best, by the way, sa Pilipinas. And what we can do is decrease stress and increase productivity and company culture sa workplace nyo. Paano namin ginagawa to? Through wellness services like fitness classes, dance classes, you name it. Mental health as well, support, team building, and sports fest as well. And kung may gym kayo sa kumpanya, we can also do preventive maintenance there. All right, so today's topic is all about different variables you can change to restart seeing improvements in your fitness journey. Gusto mo ba ng change sa results mo? Well, malamang kailangan mo ng change sa exercise or nutrition or even sa rest program mo. All right? Are you stuck in a fitness rut? Feeling like you're putting in all the effort without seeing results? Have your workouts become a chore? It's time to shake things up and break through the plateau. Feeling frustrated with your fitness journey? Let's talk about how you might be stagnating and what you can do about it. You're not alone if you're feeling stuck. Let's uncover the secret to reigniting your motivation and seeing real results. So in other words, guys, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay yung wala kang results na nakikita sa katawan. No, medyo matagal-tagal ka na nag-workout, baka nagda-diet ka rin, pero parang ang tagal na since the last time may nakita kang results. So sa clothes mo or sa PR mo or yes, kahit sa weighing scale. However man you check your progress or your results. So today we're going to show you different variables you can change to restart seeing improvements in your fitness and lifestyle journey. All right, so I have a few post-its here. Sinulat ko na. And let's get started with the first principle, which is, boom, progressive overload variables. And may apat tayo dyan. So the first progressive overload variable, ang haba ng word yun, no? But first of all, what does progressive overload mean? Kung hindi mo alam yun, ibig sabihin na you need to know what it is. Alright? Dapat hindi ko na in-explain to. So that's the first clue right there. Kung hindi mo alam yun, ibig sabihin nun, or kaya pala pinapanood mo tong video ngayon. Kasi, importante ito. Progressive overload. So there's a story, I think, about this Greek god or kid. His name's Milo, right? He goes up a mountain, or he trains, whatever it may be. Sorry, but medyo just lang alam ko. He would train, he would carry this calf, right? Baby cow, kumbaga. Up a mountain or wherever man siya nagtatrain. Alright? As he gets stronger, within time, lumalaki din ang calf na yun. Eventually, it turns into a cow or a bull, whatever it may be. So yun yung principle ng progressive overload. The more you can do, the more you need to do. The heavier weights you can lift, eventually mas dagdagan mo yung weights or dagdagan mo yung reps or bawasan mo yung rest period. Right? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng progressive overload. So you overload your system progressively. So, let's talk about the first principle ng progressive overload. Now that we know the story about Milo. And it is intensity. Intensity. So, anong pwede mo gawin dyan? Increase yung weight or resistance. That's one way to increase intensity. So, dagdagan mo ng timbang, right? So, haka 20 pounds ka, medyo madali na, mga 8 reps. Gawin mong 30 pounds or kilos, whatever you want to do, right? Obviously, wag sobrang laki ng jump. So, you're, from 10 kilos to 12 kilos or depending on what dumbbells you have or barbells you use, right? The second thing is speed or tempo. So, kunwari, nagsusquats ka, slow squats, 2 seconds down, 1 second hold sa bottom, 2 seconds up. If you don't even count your tempo or your speed, yun, problema din yun, guys. Every single rep should be about the same tempo. So if you've never done that, start counting your tempo ngayon pa lang. Okay? Kasi a slow squat is very different in terms of intensity versus a fast jump squat. Okay? So yun, there's the eccentric or pagbaba ng weight. There's a bottom, right? And then there's concentric or paglift ng weight or shorten ng muscle. All right, and then a top hold. Usually the top, we don't count that kasi parang rest lang yun. Pero the bottom, kunwari bottom squat or bottom ng push-up, count, pwede rin yun, 0-second hold or up. So tempo is very important as well, guys. Kasi pag-isipan mo to, you're doing 8 reps. You know, first rep, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Pagdating ng last rep, 1 second up, 1 second down lang, right? Or 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up. Mas bumabagal ka. So hindi na yung consistent yung reps mo from the first rep all the way to the last rep, right? So be consistent in every way possible. So yun yung first, intensity. Now let's move on to the second principle ng progressive overload, which is, well, the second thing that you can change, the second variable, not principle. Volume. Hindi yung tunog, pero volume. In other words, increase your number of reps, right? Or increase your number of sets. So let's start with the reps. Ano ibig sabihin nun? And I always like to use rep ranges. Wag lang 8 reps. Kasi malay mo, you can do 9. Or malay mo, you can do 10. Right? Or you can do 11 na hindi ka pa pagod. Pero since nag-stop ka ng 8, wala. Right? And in order to see results, the intensity has to be high. So you always want to push your limits. Not every single workout, not every single set, but for the most part, you should always push yourself. Kasi pag you push yourself to the limits, yung katawan mo mag-adapt siya by burning excess fat, which is a liability in a way when it comes to training, and by gaining lean muscle tissue so that mas malakas ka at your next workout. Okay, so increase reps, increase rep range to be more accurate. So kunwari, you're doing 4 to 6 reps, for power gains, right? 1 rep max, whatever it may be, 1 to 3 reps. Or you can do strength gains, right? You want to get stronger. So you would do 8 to 12 reps, right? Between 8 and 12 reps, okay? So, kunwari, nakaka-8 ka, hindi ka papagod. Malamang, go do more. Hindi ka papagod, keep doing more. Pag 12, madali pa rin or pagod ka na, ibig sabihin nun, every time you reach 12 reps at a certain amount of weight, so kunwari, 20 kilos ginagawa mo, next time you work out or even try next set, gawin mo 22 kilos or 25, depende kung anong increments ng gym mo. Alright? And then magta 22 kilos ka. Kunwari, next set, nakaka 8 or 9 reps ka. Perfect. You're within that range ng 8 and 12. So yun. Those are 2 ways to increase your volume. So increase the number of sets. Kunwari, you're doing 8 to 12 reps. Right? Ngayon, you're only doing 2 sets. Maybe next week, gawin mo 3 sets. Maybe the week after, do 4 sets. Right? Or it could just be the number of sets per workout. So usually nakaka 16 sets ka, full body workout or whatever, split or push, pull, whatever. Next workout, gawin mo 18 sets total. Next workout, siguro kung wala pa rin, you don't feel that soreness, you don't see results, maybe a month later, 3 months later, whatever, gawin mo 20 sets. All right. Again, it depends. That's why you need to hire a coach like us to help guide you in a very scientific way. All right, let's move on to the third variable. Okay, the third variable is frequency. Frequency, I don't know if you could read that. But it's a visual cue, especially if you're on YouTube right now and trying to fast forward everything. So you want to increase the number of workouts per week. So kunwari ngayon, medyo beginner ka, you're only doing 1 workout a week. Para lang, may routine ka. Every Fridays after work, mag-workout ako. Alright, eventually, at the start, you see results. Eventually, wala na. Right, nag-stagnate ka na. Gawin mo 2 workouts a week. So that means Mondays and Fridays, mag-workout na ako. Then you start seeing results again kasi tumataas na siya yung frequency of workouts per week. And then a few weeks later, yun na naman, you don't see results. Maybe you did for a while when you started doing 2 workouts a week. Then you can do 3 workouts a week, all right? And then 4 workouts a week, and then obviously you can't do like 8, 9, 10 workouts a week. That would lead to overtraining, okay? So that's the third variable you can change for progressive overload. Now let's move on to the fourth, which is rest periods. So unfortunately, this is one of the most neglected things when people track their workouts. They don't track the rest. And one thing I like to say is rest is actually not for the weak, right? May kasabihan, rest is for the weak. Rest is actually for the strong, because after a good workout, right, nagpa-peak ka, daming binibigay, you get deep sleep at night. And because you get deep sleep at night, the next morning, you have more energy, and then you can make a better workout, and then deep sleep na naman. So yun, so on and so forth, right? So importante yan. And what you can do is decrease the rest times between each set. So kunwari, right now you're doing squats, 20 kilos, 8 to 12 reps, 3 sets, right? So in between those sets, right now you're doing 2-minute rests between sets, right? So squats, 2-minute breaks, squats, 2-minute breaks, smartwatch, okay? Someone sponsor me for a new smartwatch, please. Medyo 5 years na to. I love it, by the way. It still works great. But who doesn't want a free watch, right? Anyway, back to the program. Dati 2 minutes a workout, or between sets. We got in 1 minute 30 seconds, right? 90 seconds. Maybe, hingal ka. You start seeing results again. Great. Maybe switch it up. 60 seconds na naman. But wag mong bigla every workout iba yung rest period, right? It has to be consistent muna, so that you can see, just by changing one variable, makita mo if it works or not after a certain amount of period, okay? We'll move on to the second thing that you can do, which is change the exercise itself. All right? So ano ibig sabihin nun? The first thing you need to do is exercise selection. So, kung dati nagba-back squats ka, right? Time to change it up, right? Let's try doing front squats, right? Or goblet squats, right? They're still squats, but they slightly change different areas of the same muscle group. Or change the order. Pwede rin. So, that actually has worked for me. So, kunwari, I'm doing deadlifts first. So, I feel that more on my lower back, or my glutes, or my posterior chain. Then I would do squats. Dati, it used to be squats first. So, that would be the front part of my legs first. Alright, so medyo taxed na yung lower back ko, kunwari, after that, just by changing up the exercise selection. And because of that, kunwari, I'm working my lower back more because of the change of order. Mas lalakas yung lower back ko, which meant, that's my core, which meant I could get stronger everywhere else. You can't fire a cannon on a canoe. Ibig sabihin nun, your core is your ship, right? You want to build a ship there, and these are your cannons, your arms and your legs. Okay? Paminsan nagtatangent pala ako, guys, I forgot to mention that. So, change the exercise selection. That might help as well. Okay, tip number 2 under change the exercise itself would be training style. So, dati I used to do push-pull. I would do chest, take a quick break, and then do back exercises. Take a quick break, chest naman. Take a quick break, back. Alright? They're my upper body workouts. I think it's called supersetting, right? Yeah, supersetting, yun. Different muscle groups. Or biceps ako. After that, triceps ka agad, right? I'm working opposing muscles. Biceps in the front of your arms. Triceps sa likod ng arms. Okay? You can switch it up to more powerlifting style workout. To walang back-to-back. Just really long breaks in between. But yun, malakas talaga. Or you could switch up to HIIT, high intensity interval training. Alright, moving from one to another. High intensity, break. High intensity naman, break. Another thing you can do is circuit training. So, chest, and then squats, and then, or legs, squats on squats, and then back exercise, and then core, right? So that's a circuit type. And then jump rope. So those are different. It's a circuit. And then ulit, that's round 1. That's round 2 or round 3, right? Another thing you can do is periodization. So, you can do stability workouts, right? Or high reps, between 15 to 20 reps. And then periodization, right? So you do that for a certain amount of period. You move on to strength, right? So that's 8 to 12 reps, about 3 to 4 sets. After like a month or 3 months, you move on to the power phase, right? So that's about 2 to 4 reps, 5 to 6 sets, right? Way more sets versus reps. So the more sets you do, generally the less reps you want to do. Sets, reps. Yeah. Just want to make sure I said it right. Pero iba yung nasulta ko. Sometimes versus what I say. So yun, those are the things that you can do in the gym, guys. Now we'll move on to beyond the gym. All right, beyond the gym. things like nutrition, guys. Before I put anyone on a nutrition plan, I actually ask them to just write down everything that they eat in a day. Okay? Because the first step to change is awareness. So a lot of people parang ayaw nila mag-diet. They'd rather out-train a poor diet. Alright? Kasi mas madali mag-workout. So before I even ask them to change what they eat, I ask them to track everything. How they eat, when they eat, how much they eat. Alright? Kung tamad sila magsulat or ilagay sa app, take pictures of everything that they eat. And then, magsaswipe sila sa app. Oh my God, I eat this much. That's ridiculous. Oh my God, ito pala yung kinakain ko. Right? Within a few seconds, they get to swipe and the food that they eat. Magugulat sila. So yun, make sure you're tracking your food, right? In terms of calories or your macros, right? Have you ever weighed in and figured out with a BIA? I think it's a bioelectrical impedance analysis. I think that's what BIA stands for, like a Tanita scale or an Omron or an InBody. Right? I think those are the three major brands that I know of. Okay? To check your BMR, basal metabolic rate, how much calories you need in a day, times, or there's a formula for that, how physically active you are, times or plus minus, whatever the formula is, in order to get to a certain body weight or your target weight. Right? If you don't even know that, then ayun, that's a tip right there. Start tracking everything. You need to know how many calories you need in a day, how much macros, so proteins, fats, and carbs. So amount of calories na yun. Okay? Next would be recovery. So earlier sinabi ko rest is very important, right? Because rest, people think, ay wala lang yun. There's also other forms of rest. Passive rest, active rest. Now a big thing is yung ice bath, contrast therapy, right? So sauna, ice bath. I used to do that like 10, 15 years ago when I lived in Canada. It was normal. A lot of people did it a lot. Pero hindi pa uso yung ice bath. But they would go in an ice cold pool. Not ice cold, but yeah, pretty cold pool. Right? And then sauna. Just the Turkish bath, or I think that's what we called them. Be with a lot of Ukrainians, Russians hanging out there. Super saya. Involved some eating too. So yun, medyo big na siya ngayon, mga recovery techniques. Yung mga air compressed sleeves sa legs, yung mga ganun, right? They're big now. Mga cupping, chiropractic care, physiotherapy, acupuncture, those kind of rests, right? Rest will actually make you stronger, guys. If you're always focused on sa mga coolest workout routine or the best diet, pero na-neglect mo lagi ang rest, then if you focus on rest this time around, you will see results. I promise you that. Okay? And the last thing beyond the gym is stress management. So how stressed are you at work? All right? Maybe your personal life, maybe your love life, how toxic your home might be, right? That's a form of stress then, like vaping, the chemicals that you use to clean your home, the airwaves, Wi-Fi, all these things, right? Are you getting out into nature where there's less toxic airwaves or whatever, 5G, you know what I mean, right? Very grounding, be with nature, all these negative ions. So yun, guys, ang dami ko na sinabi. Hopefully that has helped. Kung may mga tanong ka, do let me know. Quick interruption, guys. This video has been brought to you by HoliFit. If you're liking this video so far and dami natutunan, please subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on IG, TikTok, whatever it is, YouTube, wherever you're watching this right now. Join our mailing list, guys, so you get updated all the time. All right? We'll only give you high quality content. We'll only inspire you. So please, when we see the numbers go up, when we see people are liking this, sharing this, whatever, maybe commenting, emailing us, we'll continue to give you good quality content. So thank you for watching. I know your attention is very important. Ayun. Let us know. Give us feedback. And I hope to see you in one of our events soon. All right, back to the video. At the end. And I hope to see you in one of our events soon. All right, back to the video. At the end. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any recommendations, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If there are topics you want us to talk about, shoot us a message, guys, and sana mag-meet tayo soon, and mas magta-try pa ako mag-Tagalog more para maka-relate ako sa mga Pinoy. Thanks for watching, guys. HoliFit, peace out.